looking for on my screen, so I always feel like I'm apologizing for that, but I know that every single time we have new people here and you may not be aware of that, and so that's what I'm actually waiting for here. And whoops, I clicked the wrong thing, so sometimes I have to close out and go back in. All right, looks like I am there. I'm going to put my phone down for now. I will be answering your questions at the end, so let's officially get started. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef, and I'm so excited to be with you again tonight live from my kitchen. I'm in Sarasota, Florida tonight, and I have so much to share with you. We have so much to cover. Thankfully for you guys, I did a lot of prep ahead of time so that this will hopefully, we'll still be able to stick to our 1 hour together tonight, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about the new products that I'm going to show you, the new recipes that I'm going to share with you, and all the great things, prizes of course. So before we get started, let me just give you a little rundown. We are going to make minestrone soup tonight. We're going to be using Pampered Chef's minestrone soup. Do you say minestrone? Do you say minestrone? I've heard it both ways. Obviously, I can't hear you, so I don't know how you guys say it, but I can't remember what Keith and I were talking about, but I always like to hear how people say things the right way, you know, because, you know, tomato, tomato, potato, potato, that kind of thing. Oh, I know what it was. We were in Hollywood Beach this past week, and there is a beach nearby, and I don't know if it's Dania Beach or Dana Beach or Dania Beach. We heard several people say it different ways, but I'm like, I want to know what the right way to say this is. And so I don't know if it's minestrone or minestrone, but I've always said minestrone, but I've heard minestrone. So that's what we're gonna make. We're gonna make that. I'm gonna show you how to make Pampered Chef's focaccia bread, and we're gonna actually do that first. That's the first one we're gonna start. I made ahead of time, I used our salted vanilla dessert mix to make a Biscoff cookie crust, and I put this inside of the crust, and I decorated the top. You guys, this thing is amazing. I did take a slice to try it so that I could tell you that it was good. You may have saw a little teaser post in my stories today, so if you saw that, I'm going to show you the finished product, and I am going to show you how to make a peach pie using Pampered Chef's new silicone pie crust mold. I will say that I went ahead and made ahead all of my strips except for 3, so I'm hoping that refrigerating them, I hope they don't fall apart. I have only used the pie crust mold when I'm molding the pie crust and putting it directly on the pie. So we're gonna see how that turns out today. We're gonna do it together. It says pampered, not perfect, so if it falls apart, we're not gonna worry about it. It's gonna taste great. So let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you introduce yourself. Let me know where you're watching from, and if you happen to be watching this as a replay, be sure to comment and let me know where you're watching from and that you're catching the replay. I did just want to give a little plug. Last month I plugged fundraisers because Pampered Chef was doing double donations for fundraisers in August, and so for September, I want to just give a little plug for bridal showers. I was going to wear this apron, but then I thought, no, white is probably not the best color for me to wear when I'm cooking, and I would love to not waste this apron, but Pampered Chef has these really, really great, gorgeous white bride's aprons that you can purchase if you're hosting an online wedding shower or if you're doing an in-person wedding shower. And these are fun because you can actually use Sharpie markers to write messages to the bride to be on them. So this is a fun little perk that you get when you have a Pampered Chef wedding shower, and it is an optional purchase for the host. So if you're interested in hosting a wedding shower, let me know, and I'll let you know how much these are, and that will include shipping directly to you. And so it's great if you're doing this in person or if you're doing a virtual shower. We have, for brides, we have a wedding registry little booklet, and we also have a registry checklist. And I know that I have this in my recipe community. You cannot read this on the screen. I'm just using it for reference for you guys to see what it looks like. It's a 1-page list of everything that you're gonna need when you start your first kitchen, right? This is in my recipe community. It's probably not updated. I will try to let this be my reminder to post the new one that goes with our newest catalog. So if you're interested in hosting a wedding shower, I do offer those online, and if you're local to me, then I can help you do that in person as well. So with that said, let's go ahead and make our focaccia bread. I'll tell you about some of the other things that we're gonna do, but I wanna tell you why this towel is on here. So this focaccia bread is, if you haven't tried Pampered Chef's bread mixes, we have several to choose from. This one, you have to do some planning. So you guys know I'm a homeschool mom, and so I use this as an example with my boys yesterday, telling them, okay, what time do we need to start this? if we wanted to be ready to go in the oven around 8 o'clock tonight. So we kind of worked, we read the whole recipe, and then we worked backwards so that we knew what we needed to do. Now, there is a tip that's not on this package, but it is on Pampered Chef's website. We can't fit everything that we can put on the website on this package, and so one of the tips is the first rise, which is the step number 2 here. You're gonna actually cover this and let it rise for 1 hour in a greased bowl. Or if you want to start it the day before, you can let it actually sit in the refrigerator. Do that first rise. Instead of 1 hour, you can do 24 hours in the refrigerator. And so it is a cold fermentation rather than on the counter. But it does have a second rise. So this is not something that you're going to be able to grab on your way home from work and go, oh, I'll make this when I get home. Because it has about 3 to 4 hours of rise time if you're making it all in at one time. So today what I did, you do have another second rise, which is 2 to 3 hours. And if you know me, then you know that I keep my house really cold because I'm very hot natured. I actually don't have my fan on, so we'll see if I can make it through here without turning the fan on. But I noticed that this wasn't rising as fast as I needed it to. Probably because my house is set to 72 degrees. And so I got a cloth and I put hot water on it so that the cloth was warm, and I put that on top of the plastic. And you guys, this rose so much better. And I should have sprayed this with a little bit of oil so it didn't stick to that. But oh, it smells so good. You guys, yeast spreads are my favorite, and I can like just smell the yeast taking this off. So this is, I don't want to tilt it too much because focaccia is a wet bread, okay? So this is after 3 hours. So 3 hours ago, I put this in here, and about an hour and a half ago is when I started using the warm cloth on the top. That was just to kind of help get a little bit more warmth in there because the yeast will grow and the bread will rise in a warm environment. And so we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of oil. Focaccia bread needs a lot of oil. So before I put it in this round baker, I actually put a 1/4 cup of oil in the pan and used my silicone brush, and I brushed all of the edges. You still have like a little bit of, like, you can see the layer of oil in the bottom. And what you do next is you put the dough on the top and you just sort of spread this out, and you can actually see the oil around the edges. But what we're gonna do is, oh, you guys, I said this is pampered, not perfect, right? So we're gonna really get, I'm gonna really show you that now. I was going to just dip my fingers in there, but I needed them to be well oiled, so this does the job too. So we're just gonna spread this around with my fingers, and then you're gonna take these oiled fingers, that was the goal anyways, I was just gonna dip into there, and you're going to actually poke dimples into this bread. And you're doing this because focaccia is, I guess it has like has a lot of gas built up in this dough. And if you don't do this, then it won't bake the right way. You'll get a different kind of a crumb. So we want all these little dimples. Now, I need to wash my hands. Now, if you don't know, you've never seen a little automatic soap dispenser, they are the best. You don't have to touch anything. Let me get all this oil off. I have the oven preheated to 450. I have one oven preheated to 400 and one at 450. So the bread, let me double check. I think the bread is 450. Let me get this out of the way. So let's see, 450, and I'm doing this in the 10-inch round, so this is 10-inch round diameter here, and it is stoneware, so it says 24 to 28 minutes. So I'm gonna put this in. I'm just gonna set my timer for 25 minutes here, and put this in, and we can check it. So 450, so I think this one's gonna go on the top. Okay. All right, nothing like starting with a mess, right? So that focaccia bread is amazing, and it's rosemary focaccia bread. So that's immediately, I smelled the yeast, smelled all that rosemary flavor, and it's gonna be so good. So we're gonna serve that with our soup tonight. So let's go ahead and get the soup ready to go. So I'm gonna be using a burner here so that I don't have to go back and forth. And I showed you guys our stainless steel cookware for the last couple of months. So I decided to pull out my Brilliance because I still love my Brilliance cookware. This is a non-stick cookware. It's super lightweight. So if you're looking for cookware that is not very heavy, this is what you're gonna wanna get. And these will work on all cooktops, so gas, ceramic, electric, induction, which is what I'm using, and I need to plug this in. I always forget to plug it in when I'm setting up. I don't want this cord here because I don't want somebody to walk by and catch it and throw it off. All right, let's see. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just follow the instructions on the package, and it says, in a large saucepan or a pot, combine the soup mix, 2 cups of water and 4 cups of chicken broth. I do use beef broth instead of chicken broth when I make this because I'm actually gonna stir in some ground beef at the end. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour in this beef broth, and I gotta remember how to turn this on because this is not my normal burner. I left that at the doghouse in Georgia. So we're gonna put all 4 cups of beef broth in here. You can use chicken broth if you want, but I am going to add beef to this. So I decided to do that. And then we're gonna add 2 cups of water to this. So this is gonna be the base for the liquid for the soup. And then we're gonna take our little, why can I never remember the name of these things? Somebody knows the name, put it in the chat. They're clips, but so like if I wanted to close this back up, you can just clip it, but it also has a little cut. I never remember what these things are called. So this smells so good. Now, if you had this before, we did change the packaging here. So the packaging is a little bit different than before. We got rid of these for our summer season, but they have brought them back and we will have them through this fall winter season. So I'm just gonna mix this up, and I think that this says to simmer for about 20 minutes. So we're gonna simmer, and we're just gonna stir that every so often. And I wanna show you a couple of things. So we have these helper handles. This silicone handle will fit on this pot right here. This isn't gonna get very hot tonight, but for this pan, I'll show you this one as an example. You can put this, it was made for the Brilliance cookware. These will not fit on the stainless steel cookware that we sell. So you can try, but they're gonna be really hard to get on and really hard to get off, and I don't recommend it. And then these helper handles go on the short handles like this. So this one was great for over here. This short handle might get a little hot because it is closer to the pan, but I'm not really worried about that long handle. If you use a gas stove, you definitely want to make sure that you get these, or just be extra careful. But wanted to show you those. This skillet right here, this is our Brilliance. I think it's a 5-quart. Yes, this is the 5-quart Brilliance skillet, and it comes with a glass lid. I used this to brown our ground beef. So I did that step ahead of time. I'll share more about that in a few minutes, but I love this pan. And if you don't know this cookware can go in the oven. So you can start something on the stove and you can finish it in the oven. We have a beautiful set of this cookware, and I hope you guys will check that out. And Pampered Chef actually just added a larger set of cookware, which is like incredible, because people always ask us, well, I want all the pieces, and instead of like trying to figure out what do I need, now we have a set that has all of them. So it's very, very exciting. I love some of the changes that we are seeing happen. So I'm just gonna stir this. I wish you guys could smell this. That's the one thing about doing this online, is that you guys don't get to smell it, and you don't get to taste it either. But love this pan. So I use this to brown my ground beef, and you guys, let me see. Can you see how perfect this pan is? I have used this hundreds of times, and it still looks brand new. The Brilliance cookware has a lifetime guarantee, 10-year guarantee. Our stainless cookware has a lifetime guarantee. The biggest difference is you can't use metal utensils in this nonstick cookware because it will show scratches, so you have to be careful with that. But as long as you're using silicone or bamboo or wooden utensils, you're gonna be okay. Now, this silicone turner here is great, and it's heat safe, so I can leave it in the pot. I'm not worried about that melting. Now, these are our new cookware protectors. One of you is going to win these cookware protectors. I love the new shape. So they used to be round, and now they have this square, so they fit in both round and square pans. These are perfect for your Brilliance bakeware. You know, the 9x13 and the, is it 8x8 or 9x9? I always question myself on that. And then we have our long loaf pan, so you can even put these in the loaf pan. So love these new cookware protectors. And then we have these, and I knew I was gonna forget what they're called. You guys, the hardest part of my job is literally trying to remember the names of all these things. These are multi-purpose silicone mats, and these are $35, and you get the set of 2. Now, they can be used as trivets, but you know what else they can be used for? And I actually am gonna leave one of these in my microwave all the time. You know how we have the new microwave cover? I've been trying to get my family to use a cover for years, and you know what happens? They take it out of the microwave and put it on the counter, and then they don't cover up their food. But this is an alternative. They don't have to take anything out. They can just take this, leave it in there. Just leave it in there all the time. And then they can put their dish on here, and if the dish is too heavy, too hot for them to handle, they can actually just carry this to wherever they're gonna sit down. Or if it spills over, there's not going to be any more cleaning the microwave, at least the inside of the microwave. You're going to be able to just take this out and rinse it off. So I love that we have a couple sizes of this. The other great thing about this is that you can actually use this as a spoon rest, and it's going to be very, very easy to clean. All right, I just wanted to peek at something. Okay, yes, I wanted to make sure I read that correctly. All right, so while we're waiting on this, I'm gonna tell you about the salted vanilla dessert mix and what I did with it. So this is just like all of the other dessert mixes that we have had. We've had caramel, we've had lime, we've had creamsicle, we've had so many different flavors. So this season is the salted vanilla dessert mix. And one thing that I noticed is that this is not listed as a while supplies last item. So that is different from the previous dessert mixes. I hope that that's correct and not just a miss on Pampered Chef's part. But right now, as far as I know, this is our part of our catalog. Now, what I made is a Biscoff cookie crust. I took one of the long packages of Biscoff cookies. If you fly Delta, it's the kind of cookies you get on the Delta flights, but you can get them at Walmart. I know that Aldi has their own brand, and Trader Joe's has their own brand too. They all taste the same. They're probably all made by the same people, but they taste the same to me anyways. So I made a crust using the whole package, which was 32 cookies, and I believe it was 5 tablespoons of butter. I did not get this all typed up for you. The link for tonight does include the recipe for the soup and the focaccia bread. I will be posting this in my recipe community. So if you're not a member of my recipe community, make sure you head over there, theflipflopchef.com. There's a button at the top of the page to find the recipe group. And then when you're there, make sure you hit the join button. I had somebody message me recently and they said, I thought I had joined, they were not joined. So you have to make sure you click that button or you're not gonna see it, see posts later on unless you just physically go there. So I made this according to the package directions with the cream cheese, the butter, and the heavy cream, and I poured it into the crust. Then I made whipped cream with my whipped cream maker, and I used my decorating bags, and I just put the little dollops. I have a short little reel that I'll post sometime, hopefully this week, for you guys to see how to make this. And I chopped up some more Biscoff cookies, and then I melted some Biscoff cookie butter, and I drizzled that on the top. Now, if you're transporting this, the large cool and serve is a great way to transport cold pies. And you can see I have the ice packs in here and I have the pie pan in here. This one did touch the top just a little bit. If you're not transporting it anywhere, in fact, I just put these ice packs in here right before this event just to show you that it does indeed fit in there. But in my refrigerator, I hate plastic wrap, hate using aluminum foil. So even when I'm just storing this in my own fridge, I just put it in here, put it in the refrigerator because it is just too easy to do it that way, right? And it's perfect. So let me show you again what this looks like. So Biscoff cookie crumb crust. I made the salted vanilla dessert mix, poured it into the crust. I did bake the crust, by the way. I think I baked it for 10 minutes at 350. I'll have to look at my notes. Let it cool completely. And then just whipped cream, cookies, and drizzled cookie butter. So if you're a milk drinker, then definitely pour yourself a glass of milk. I'm gonna set this aside so that it will be out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and add in all of the things we want for our soup, and then I'm gonna show you guys how to make this beautiful, well, I hope it's gonna be beautiful, peach pie. I'm gonna go ahead and grab my peaches out of the freezer. I just opened up the packages and put them in this bowl. By the way, we also sell a tortilla soup mix, and we have a roasted red pepper soup mix that is really, really good. So I'm just gonna stir this a little bit, and then we're gonna add in a few things. So if you've been waiting for Pampered Chef's leak-proof storage containers to come back in stock, we restyled them and they are better than ever. I love these. The coolest thing about this is that these will nest together nicely with the lids on. So you don't have to find a separate place to put the lids. You can just store them all together. They are wonderful and they're color coded. We made them a little bit easier to open and close, and they are awesome. So that's the small one. In this one, I have some pasta. So I just cooked some macaroni noodles, put a little oil on them. I just wanted to do that ahead of time. And in this one, I have our, let me grab a fork. Let's see. I have our ground beef. I'm just gonna break this up so it doesn't splash, hopefully, when I pour it in. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour in the ground beef. And remember, I cooked that in that Brilliance 5-quart skillet. And then our macaroni noodles, this is gonna probably go in as more of a clump. Let's see if I can get it in there without it. We'll break it up once it warms up a little bit. All right, so you can prep these things. There we go, just gently press down. You can prep these things the day before, and it makes preparing dinner even faster. So, got a couple other noodles. We don't want to waste those. All right, so let me show you. I'll show you these two. And you put the lid on here. Whoops. There we go. And look, this fits inside with the lid. There you go. And this one, which is clean, would fit inside of that middle size one. So obviously I will take those apart to wash them in the dishwasher. We're gonna add a can of mixed vegetables and some petite diced tomatoes. And I actually need to strain these. So let me grab something. I always hate to show you guys things that we don't sell anymore, but I know a lot of you guys have this. I would use my colander, but it's in the dishwasher. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm not gonna try to sell you this one because I can't. We're gonna open up our canned vegetables here. You put the can opener up against the edge, and I like to start at the front of the can. That way I know when I've gone all the way around. And see, I passed my starting point. What you're gonna do is you're gonna turn counterclockwise and it releases that can opener from the can. And then there's a little button on the side that you can use to kind of grab that. Let's see if I can do this. This is kind of a smaller measuring cup. But we wanna drain our vegetables. There are dried vegetables in this mix, but I like to make this a little bit more hearty. You don't have to do any mix-ins unless you want to. We're gonna take another can. This is just petite diced tomatoes. I've used basil, the basil oregano blend of tomatoes, but this is what I had in my pantry, and there's already so much flavor in here, I don't feel like you need to add any more. I think I'm going a little bit too far. There we go. And you're not gonna drain the tomatoes. Now, if you have the 3-quart stainless piece of cookware, this will not fit in there if you add all these things in. This is a 4-quart pot and it is almost completely full. So we're just gonna let this sit and get nice and warm. Now I wanna mention something about the lid. So the lid for this pan, you're gonna notice, has straining holes here and here. They are 2 different sizes. You have wide and narrow. So I love this. You put it on the pan. Now, since we have, I used to use a towel. You guys have probably seen the trick where I take this and I hold it over the top. So I hold the handle because it's hot and I hold the other thing, and you have to kind of hold both at the same time because the lid is gonna fall off if you don't hold everything. Well, if you can use your imagination, because I'm certainly not gonna drain the soup, you're gonna put your handles on or your gloves on, and you can actually hold this and easily strain without having to use a towel because your hands are completely protected. So if you're boiling pasta water, then it's very easy for you to strain. All right, so we're gonna just give this a stir every once in a while. Are you guys ready to see the pie? So let's get our filling put together, and then I'm gonna have to move a few more things around because I just have a lot for this pie. Oh, but first, let me do a quick break for questions, because I learned a couple months ago that I can only go so far back in the chat. So let me open up the chat and see what questions you guys have right now. And remember, if I don't answer your question now, and later when we do questions again, if I just seem to be missing it, I'm not ignoring you, I'm not skipping over you, I might just not be able to see it. So let me see if we've got any questions here. Okay, so Christina said she uses the longi, so minestrone. I think that's what you mean. Okay, see, I need to know these things. Okay, let's see. All right, questions. I'm looking for questions. You love the idea of a pampered chef wedding shower, but you already have a husband. Hey, a husband is better than the shower, right? Okay, I love that. That's the best one. Yes, Rena had a pampered chef bridal shower with me 22 years ago. I love that. All right, let's see. Yeah, the overnight rise is a really, really great thing. So Lisa had a pampered chef bridal shower and wedding registry in 2001. Let's see. Lori, I'm so sorry. I'm glad that you saw this tip. Now you saw this today. You can try it again. Let's see. Clippy things. Yes, that's what we're going to call them. Clippy things. All right. I'm going to see if I can find some questions. And if I don't see any questions, then we're just going to keep moving on here. Lynn, I think I answered your question. You can nestle them with the lids on and off. So whichever way you prefer. So Christina asked about, and I think this is Chris, I think you're asking about recipes for retired dessert mix. If you're looking for something in particular, let me know. I probably can access it even if you cannot. All of our cookware can go in the oven. Yes, Brilliance is so easy to clean. It's actually the easiest cookware to clean that I've ever had from Pampered Chef. So, all right, let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and I didn't see any questions. So we're gonna do prizes in a little bit, but let's go ahead and talk about what I've done so far. And I'm gonna turn this soup down a little bit because it's starting to boil and we just wanna simmer. We don't sell these stretch fit lids, but if you have them, they do fit the blue mixing bowl. So I have 2 pounds of frozen peaches. Yes, I am a Georgia peach and I prefer fresh peaches, but I'm super picky about peaches too. So it is okay when you make a pie to use canned peaches, frozen peaches, fresh peaches, literally whatever's best. I smelled the peaches at the store. You couldn't even smell that it was a peach. And if you can't smell that it's a peach, don't buy them. So I bought the frozen peaches because they are almost always very good and flavorful, and so they look beautiful, they're the right color, and we're gonna add to the frozen ingredients here. So let's see, we're gonna add about 3/4 of a cup of sugar. If you don't wanna put that much sugar, that's okay. That's how much I'm gonna put. We're gonna put some lemon juice, some cinnamon, and some cornstarch. Let me get all these things over here. If you didn't know this yet, our cinnamon is back. Turn this down a little bit more. Oh, I think this has a keep warm setting. I'm gonna turn it on that because that's pretty much where we want it to be. The cinnamon, how much did I say? 1/2 teaspoon. So our cinnamon is back, and you didn't have to wait till October. Isn't that exciting? And it's gonna be here until the end of February. So they're extending how long we have the cinnamon plus, and our double strength Madagascar bourbon pure vanilla extract. So the vanilla is available, the cinnamon is available. The cinnamon plus, this is an old bottle. That tells you how many bottles of this I bought when we were discontinuing it. This I think is my last bottle. This has the Karenji cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, ground orange peel, cloves, and ginger. And this is the perfect time for me to tell you that it does not matter what the best by date on your seasonings are. If it is a dry seasoning and the best by date is beyond now, don't worry about it. Best by is not the same as expired. Milk and your meat, those things have really an expiration date. This is a best by date. So as long as the bottle is closed, then it should stay just as fresh. But once you open it, you want to use it within about a year of opening it. So I hope that that helps. We're going to add some cornstarch to this, about 3 tablespoons, and I did not grab the salt, but that's okay. The cornstarch will actually help create that thick juice. I don't know if juice is the right word, but it thickens up the pie. So you can use tapioca powder if you wanted to. Some people use flour. I usually use cornstarch. Sometimes I use tapioca. Okay, we're gonna do about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. So I'm gonna grab the salt, and let me grab the right measuring spoon here. Oops, wrong size. I don't keep mine together. I just have them in a, let's see, where is it hiding? Here it is. I have a bunch of them, so I don't put them together. All right, so 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. And these peaches are completely frozen. They have not been defrosted. I'm gonna mix this together a little bit, and I'm gonna put a little bit of lemon juice. So I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of that. I'm just gonna toss these real quick before I add that liquid. When I did a blueberry pie, I did let the blueberries partially thaw, but I don't think it really matters. Might make a difference with using the stoneware pie plate. I didn't think about that, but hopefully it's not too dense. My pie plate breaks, then we'll know that you shouldn't do it frozen. All right, a little bit of lemon juice. Give this a quick stir. All right. Now, actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna double check something really quickly because I did not take into consideration that you shouldn't put something that's really dense frozen into a stone. And so I wanna check one thing really quickly. I have an idea. I just want to double check something here really quickly. I'm checking to make sure that this bowl can go in the microwave, and I'm 99% sure that it can. Yes, microwave is good. I'm gonna microwave this for 1 minute. So I'm gonna turn my fan on because I've been moving around so much. Okay. All right, I decided to do 1.5 minutes. Now, we're gonna use the plum pie plate. So I only have 1 plum, so that's why the Biscoff cookie pie is in the traditional white one. Now, I used this earlier, so let me just bring my tools over here so that we can make this pie together. Oops, hang on. I got too many things in my way. Okay, this is our pastry mat, which I love. I'm gonna use these in just a few minutes. So set those aside. Now, we have 42 seconds left on the focaccia bread, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a peek at that before I start on the other. Oh yes, this looks amazing, you guys. Let me get this out. Show you this because look, I think Connor's most excited about this. Doesn't that look beautiful? And you can still see all that oil on the top and in the bottom. Okay, let's see. Not really sure. My oven's got a smell to it, but I don't want to turn the fan on because of that fan because I'm afraid that it will create too much noise for you guys. I will say, I bought a microphone and I tried to get it set up to use for tonight, but I need another part in order to attach it to my camera. And so, I apologize, but the next time I'm live at the doghouse, I will do my very best to have that because I feel like that's where I need it the most, especially if I'm using that stupid oven there. I gotta figure that out. Okay, we're gonna flour our pastry mat. I am using homemade pie crust. This is my mom's recipe, and if I had a little bit left from earlier, if you don't know about this recipe, then I highly recommend that you look in my recipe community and check it out. I show you how to make a full recipe and a half recipe. So make the half recipe using the deluxe stand mixer, and it's just the easiest. And you make it in bulk, and you just put it in your freezer, take it out and put it in the fridge when you're ready to use it, and it is the best. I think I have one more crust in the freezer, so I'm gonna have to make another batch very soon. And if you know my mom, you know her recipes are the best. So we're gonna roll this out. There is a little chart on the bottom of this mat, and it tells you the size. So we want this kind of it's a 9-inch pan, so I want it between that 10 and 12-inch size. I'm trying to keep it in a circle because I didn't, I freeze mine in like discs rather than balls. So, all right, I want it to be slightly bigger than the pan. All right, so I'm gonna fold this in half. I'm gonna bring my pie plate over here. I'm gonna pick this up, put this in, just like this, and I'm just gonna press it down because we're gonna decorate this and make it look really pretty. I'm hoping this isn't too many peaches. We're gonna find out how high this pie is gonna get. Okay, so I did microwave those, remember? And let's see, I can't remember, yeah, I used this one. I don't want to use the same spoon that I used for the, yeah, this might make enough for 2 pies. So let's see how much we can get in here. All right, so learning together. You could do 1 pound of peaches and cut those measurements in half. So stick this in here. And I'm gonna just press these around. Now, what we are going to do, I'm gonna try my best to remember how I made the blueberry pie because I watched Pampered Chef's video probably 10 times trying to figure it out to make sure I did it right. But we're gonna try together. If I don't do it right the first time, that's okay. So, first let me show you how to make the little, look at these beautiful pieces. You see these? I like the pearl more than I like the lattice. I think that's what you call it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take 3 of these pieces and let me just give myself a little space to work. I took the disc like you saw me use for this bottom crust, and I actually took this, what do we call this? A pastry cutter, I think is what we call it. Bar board and scraper. So I think this is a scraper. And you're just going to, or this is the bar board. So you're gonna cut it into little strips. So this is where I kept it just like this. And you're gonna roll these. Let me make myself some room here. Cover them in flour. And I did refrigerate these. I did this earlier, but I refrigerated this until just before I started. This is your pie crust mold, and I'm gonna still be using that pearl side, and we only need 3 more. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll these out and you're gonna press them in. I'm really bad about putting too much, but that's okay. We're gonna cut off the excess, and it's not hard to do that, and then you can just press all the excess back together, and you can roll out another rope. Okay, so let me get all 3 of these in, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's actually very easy, and after you do this the first time, you're going to have it down, and The reason I know that is because this is the second time that I've done this, and earlier today I thought, okay, this might take me a little while because before I was trying to learn how to do it, but now I know how. So you're gonna need a total of 13 strips. So you need 5 strips to go one way, 5 strips to go the other, and 3 to go around the pie. So what we're gonna do, the edge of the pie. I have found, not this, you probably use that too. This is our icing smoother. I found that this worked better than the icing spatula to just sort of, you're gonna slide all the way across. I felt like I had better control over this. So we're gonna just scrape this, and then if we needed more, you just mold this back together and roll it back out. So I don't need any more after this. So look, these will just fall right out. Now, I'm gonna try my best. So we're gonna do 5 in one direction. So let me do that real quick. Let's see if I can. And there's gonna be some overhang on the short edges. I'm hoping that I can move the other ones that have been refrigerated as easily as I just moved that one. I put these on our Brilliance pan. Yeah, see, they're coming apart. So I recommend not refrigerating them, but there was no way we had time to do this all together. So we're gonna piece it together, and we're not gonna worry about it. It's gonna be what it's gonna be, right? Let's see. I took these out. Oh, this one did much better. Is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is the part that I have to, whoops, this is the wrong towel. I don't know that it matters. Okay. My parchment paper, you're gonna need a piece of parchment paper. Take one of these and I just leave it folded in half. I'm gonna try to zoom in. Well, I don't know if that's gonna help. Let's see, I'll do it this way. See if I can do it backwards. I'm gonna put it on here, and then you're gonna pull over every other one. And I'm gonna do these because that one that broke isn't gonna fold very well. Okay, so you're gonna fold 3 of them over, and then we're gonna put 1 in the middle, and then look, you fold this back, just like this. Oops. And then we're gonna take these 2, and remember this little guy, he kind of broke. So we're gonna do the best we can. Yep, the refrigerated ones didn't turn out as great. So don't cut the molds and then refrigerate them. Okay, we're gonna put this over, put this back, and okay. And same thing. Okay, so we've got half of our pie done. Isn't that pretty? So we're gonna flip this over. Let me just turn it around now that I'm working that direction. Okay, let's see, which ones did I? All right, I think I need to do these first. So I'm gonna do the opposite. All right. Put this one here. I hope that you guys are as excited about this as I am. I will tell you, when I did not refrigerate these, they did not break. I had maybe 2 out of the entire thing where I had to kind of piece back together. So much easier, like the ones that we made together. Okay, so look at that. How pretty is that? All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna pinch these little edges off all the way around, just like this. All right, and then I'm gonna see if I can fit these. See, this one didn't break. You're just going to press it, gently press it on the edges, and then we're gonna connect these pearls. I just figured peaches and pearls, right? And I probably could have put more peaches in there. I'm second guessing myself now, but this is the first time I'm making this, so we are gonna go with it. All right, we'll wash my hands, and we're gonna get this in the oven. at 400. All right, I can't wait to read the comments. I hope you guys are still excited about that product. But look how pretty. Isn't that so nice? Let me grab an egg. And we're gonna do an egg wash. So we're gonna take a little prep bowl and I don't think that egg is good. I just don't like the way that it sounded. It was way too watery. We're gonna skip the egg wash. I'm just gonna do a little bit of water. Is anybody else like me? Once you think something isn't good, you just can't bring yourself to do it again, right? Let's see. I know I have two. Oh, it's right here. I thought this was the one from earlier. We're just gonna take a little water because I do want to put some sugar on here, but that egg was too, it just wasn't right. So, and those all came from the same batch, so I'm not gonna even bother. I'm not messing up a peach pie for an egg wash, right? But what I was gonna do was I was gonna just whisk it together and put a tiny bit of water in there. But if you don't have an egg, you can always just use a little bit of water. And I'm gonna use some finishing sugar. You could put cinnamon sugar on the top if you want, but I don't like too much cinnamon in my peach pie. One thing that I will tell you, I have a really bad habit of doing this and I need to stop, is I throw away the little filter on these sprinkles, and I need to stop doing that because when I need to just shake it over, I can't because there's nothing on there. So this is just a finishing sugar, so it's a little bit larger grain than regular white sugar, and makes it look pretty. So this is gonna be like with the sprinkles. I think this is from Hobby Lobby, but it just makes it look a little bit better. I don't want to waste any of that, so I'm just going to put it all on the top. And then I'm going to bake this on a sheet pan because if you have a lot of pies, especially fruit pies, they sometimes will boil over, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on a half sheet pan, but I want to show you another thing. Now I can't sell you this, but I did buy this at Hobby Lobby a few years ago. I gave a bunch of these away because they had a bunch left. But you can make a crust cover with aluminum foil, but I don't like doing that. So this little silicone crust, you can see that it like cooks together. And you can just stick it on there, and this protects the crust because the crust always browns faster than the rest. So we're gonna cook this, I think, for 40 minutes. So, or I'm sorry, an hour. So you won't see the finished product, but I will post pictures in my recipe community. So let me go ahead and put this in the oven. Okay, and if I don't set a timer, I will forget. All right, we're gonna do some prizes, and let me make sure. Oh, for the minestrone soup, we're gonna use some Parmesan cheese, and we're gonna just put it on top of each individual serving, and we're gonna use the cup zester to zest it. I'm not gonna do that on camera because I wanna make sure that we have time to do everything that we need to do. So here's the time where you need to put your questions in the chat. And if I can keep my hands dry, then we're gonna give away some prizes and I will answer your questions. So, all right, let's see, couple of housekeeping things first. So I'm gonna give away some prizes live. Some prizes will be given away after the party is over. To be included in those prizes, you can shop with me anytime today through Wednesday. But if you shop today or tomorrow, you will get double entries, and the first 10 people who shop are going to get a copy of this season's Best Cookbook. Now, the reason usually I just do one day, but the reason I'm doing today and tomorrow is because Pampered Chef has a sale that starts tomorrow. And I don't want you guys to have to place 2 orders because I won't be able to add to your order if you shop today. I won't be able to add to your order tomorrow. You would have to place a separate order. So I want to give you choices here. So double entries today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we have this Dinner Made Easy sale. It's buy 2, get 1 free. They are mix and match meal sets. There are 7 different packages or meal sets. So I'm just going to tell you what they are. We have the give back set, which is the Italian herb bread and the minestrone soup for $15. We have the focaccia bread mix, which is what I made tonight, the Tuscan style herb chicken meal mix, and let's see, looks like the course, the Himalayan sea salt, that is $20. We have the butter chicken dinner set, which is the Indian style rice butter chicken mix, the flatbread mix, all for $20. The pizza dinner set is pizza crust, everything but the pizza seasoning, and spicy pizza oil for $30. The chili and cornbread set is $40. You get 3 cornbreads and 3 chili mixes. We have the soup and bread mix. It gives you the Italian herb bread mix, the sourdough bread mix, sweet cornbread, and you're gonna get all 3 soup mixed. So the minestrone, the tortilla, and the roasted red pepper. And then the last one, which I think I'm most excited about, is the meatloaf mix, garlic parmesan seasoning, which is one of our favorites, and the sweet onion sauce, and that one is $25. And if I didn't say, the soup and bread mix is $45. With your orders, when you spend $90 or more, you're going to get a $15 account credit to use on a future order within the next 90 days. The really important thing to know is that that is going to be tied to your email address. So you want to make sure you're always shopping with the same email address, and then you add that in that cart on the very last step. So if you have a credit from last month, then you will, or if you completed the survey on that table testing party that I did last week, you will have that $5 credit that you can apply. You do that at the very last page. If you need instructions on how to do that, I have them in my recipe community, and I can also text them to you if you need step-by-step instructions. For $120 orders, you're gonna get the free Twix-It clip set. And so I love those. I can't believe I don't have any out here, but those are things that we use every single day. So, prizes. So I'm going to give away the live prizes now, and then those will be mailed out hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday, and then the remaining prizes will be given away at the end of the week, or after Wednesday when the party is over. So the first winner is our meatloaf meal mix. This is probably my new favorite pantry product. Be careful saying that word. Favorite pantry product is our meatloaf mix, and Ashley Hendricks, you are the winner for that, so I'll drop that in the mail to you. And then I have 3 people who won Caringi cinnamon packets. So it's the Caringi cinnamon, but instead of in a bottle, it's going to be in a packet like this. And those 3 winners are Katie Critchbaum, Mary Maddox, and Denise Reyes. And then the next, I have 3 more winners. We have 2 people who won the cinnamon crumb cake mix, Jean Felty and Cindy Griggs. And then our microfiber towel goes to Kelly Body, I think is how you say her name. The remaining prizes that I will be giving away after everybody has shopped, we have the salted vanilla dessert mix with the serrated nylon server, a gourmet toffee apple crisp syrup, silicone pie crust mold, the 9-inch round cake pan set, our anniversary scraper, the pan protectors, and a 3-quart stainless steel saucepan. So that's the big prize. So those are the prizes that I'm going to be giving away after the party is over. So let me open this up, and I'm going to try to answer every question that I can. And let's see if I can find out where I left off. Okay, perfect. I think this is where I left. Bonnie, peach pie is my favorite pie also. Let's see. Lisa, so hopefully I answered the question since she has a corn allergy. Is there anything you can use instead of the cornstarch? Yes, you can use tapioca powder. I don't think that comes from corn. Or you can use flour. Let's see. I love, Robin, I love that you have seasoning in that bottle still too. Okay. I thought the plum color pan is so pretty also, the new plum pie plate. I wasn't sure what I thought about it when I saw it introduced, but I really like it. So, oh, Melinda said the smell-o-vision isn't working. I'm so sorry. I wish that you could smell. I do want to show you guys though. Look at this soup. You probably can just see a little taste of what it looks like from that side view, but look at this. Look at that hearty soup. Yum, yum, yum. Christian is excited about the soup, Connor's excited about the bread, and I'm excited about everything. Okay, let's see. Mandy asked me how to store the pastry mat. So after I clean this, what I do is make sure that it's really dry, and then I fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then again, so I think that's eighths, right? And I just put it in one of my drawers in the kitchen. So it's nice and dirty right now though. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Katrina. I don't think I need a microphone in this kitchen, but yes, at the doghouse it is needed. So I have it. I just have to buy some kind of a clamp to put on my camera. I even tried testing it on with my iPhone yesterday, and I was like, I don't think this even works very well, but I can't record this with my iPhone. I have to use a special camera for what we're doing tonight, so stay tuned. Hopefully I will have time to get that piece before my next live, because my next live will be from the doghouse, and you guys can save the date for October the 12th at 8 o'clock. This is a big party, you guys, because guess what the day before? The day before that is my 45th birthday, and 3 days after that is Pampered Chef's 45th anniversary. Did you guys know that I was born 4 days before the very, very first Pampered Chef party ever? So Doris Christopher once told me I was born to sell Pampered Chef. I'll take it. So if you don't know who Doris is, she's our founder, and that was a great compliment. So, all right, let's see. All right, let's see what questions. Kim, you're gonna love the pie crust mold. It really is amazing. Lindsay wants it all. Yes, I'm not stressing over the broken pie pearls because you guys saw how beautiful and perfect those 3 that I made with you guys turned out. So now we just know. I did not know. Lori Heredia said, did you know parchment paper was named after Parchment, Michigan, where she's from? Had no idea. That's such a cool thing. Thanks for teaching us something tonight. Okay, Deb asked how to get in the recipe community. So it's very easy to get to the recipe community. In fact, at the top of this chat, there is a pinned comment. There's one link in that pinned comment. It will give you all the links that you need. If you scroll to the very, very bottom, there's a banner at the bottom and it says Flip Flop Chef, recipes and giveaway. If you click that picture, just click on the picture, it will take you to my recipe community. The second way is you can go to theflipflopchef.com and there's a button at the top that says recipe community. Just click that and it'll redirect you to where you need to be. So thank you for asking that because others probably need to know that too. Thank y'all for complimenting me on my pie. Let's see. Kim, I just added to my list for the doghouse some of the prep bowls because I realized I didn't have enough of them there, and I'm taking most of my old leak-proof storage containers to the doghouse and I'm buying new ones for this house. So, Anita, can you believe I forgot the ice cream? I told Keith earlier, I said I forgot to buy the ice cream for the peach pie, so I'm gonna have to get some of that tomorrow. Chris asked, is it difficult to get a slice of the pie out of the stoneware, wondering if the crust would stick? So I don't know if you're asking about the Biscoff pie or if you're asking about the peach pie. So this is the slice and serve. It comes metal, has an edge here that will help you almost like a knife, and it has a little protective cover. I used this earlier for the slice of Biscoff pie, and the key to keeping crusts like that from sticking, which I have made this mistake before, I'm guilty of using too much butter in the crust, and it turns out like cement if you're not careful. And so make sure that you don't use too much butter, but you want to use enough butter so that it doesn't crumble. But if you get the crust right, then it's not going to stick. And the same thing for the peach pie. You just want to make sure that you're going under the pie crust enough and you'll be fine. And it doesn't, if it scratches the stoneware, it doesn't change anything about it. So don't even stress about that. Yes, when in doubt, throw it out. Joanne said that. I always say there's no meal worth getting sick over. My kids sometimes get mad at me, like when they leave things out all night long and I find them and then they're mad at me for throwing it away. I'm like, sorry, you can't eat that now. All right, let's see. Yes, I don't know if it's Brianna or Brianna, but yes, my house smells delicious. And Katrina, I can't believe how many people were excited about the silicone pie crust mold. I was not going to make a peach pie tonight, but you guys, from the moment I shared that blueberry pie recipe, you guys have gone bonkers over this. And I was like, well, I have to make a pie. So that's why I have 2 pies tonight, because I was already planning to do the Biscoff. Okay, let's see. Let me see. So Tanya asked about or Tanya, I'm sorry, I think I said your name the wrong way. The bread mixes expire. I will say the bread, you can use it a few months after the best by date. I know that bread mixes, they can expire, but It's still a best by date, but I don't use the same rule for the bread mixes as I do the seasonings. I hope that that helps. And Katrina, you're welcome about the $5 credit. It will show up in your cart as long as you're logged in, if it's in your account. And on the very last screen, you'll be able to, it'll show account balance, and you type in the amount that's available and click apply. It cannot exceed the product amount after any discounts if you're past host or things like that. And it cannot cover the shipping of the tax. Anne asked about why there are no prices in the catalog. So let's talk about that. So I am not happy about that either. Pampered Chef had to make a really tough decision about the catalog. So as you guys can imagine, they have to print these catalogs well in advance of the actual selling season arriving for a few reasons. We as consultants need to get them in our hands in time to get them in your hands so that we have the resources that we need before we start selling the products. And earlier in the year when they had to print these catalogs, the tariff situation was more uncertain than it is right now. And they knew that if they printed the catalog with prices then, that they would most likely overprice products because of that current tariff situation. And so things have changed a little bit. They still, they're not expecting to change any pricing that you see right now online is not expected to change this season. However, they've given us kind of a disclaimer that if there are any product price changes this season, they will give us 2 weeks notice. But essentially, they wanted to give you the best pricing possible, and they didn't want what you see in the catalog not to match what is online. So for that reason, I'm thankful because the pricing in the catalog, when they printed the catalog, would have been a lot higher because they were factoring in what they thought that they might have to pay for those products. So I'd also like to address, this is a great opportunity for me to just really talk candidly with you guys about it. I know, especially we're in the United States, people want products that are made in the USA, and I appreciate that as much as you do. However, Pampered Chef is a global company, and a lot of people don't realize just because we started in the United States doesn't mean we are only in the United States. And so I actually give Pampered Chef a lot of credit. They have been for years finding new vendors that are not only from one place. And we have products that are made all over the world. And in case you didn't know, we have Pampered Chef Canada, we have Pampered Chef Austria, Pampered Chef Germany, and I feel like I might be missing one. But we are actually a global company, and so we are located all over the world, and so we get products from all over the world. But we do have a lot of products that are made in the United States, and of course the tariffs aren't going to be a concern for those, but the things that do have that obstacle for right now, Pampered Chef had to just decide what the best thing to do. I have heard unofficially that they almost didn't have a catalog at all, and they realized that that was a really bad move. They knew that the customers would want a catalog, and even though it's a big blow that there's no pricing, I appreciate that they still gave us a catalog. I am actually working on a way for you to be able to access the pricing a little bit easier. So I hope I can provide something like that for you. But for now, if you have the hard copy catalog, there are no prices. But the great thing is we have a tab on our website that's just for new products, and you can click that and you can see everything without having to go through a printed list. So that was a long-winded answer, but I hope that that helps you all understand. So let's see. We no longer sell the peppercorn seasoning, but I would love for you guys to all suggest that to Pampered Chef because it's one of my favorites, and I think I have 3 or 4 bottles left, and I'm gonna really be sad when they are all gone. Okay, let's see. Y'all are always so nice to compliment the people who win the prizes. That's one of the things I love the most about all of you guys is that you are so complimentary, even if you are not one of the winners. All right, yes, soup, bread, and pie is the perfect dinner. Okay. Oh, Lynn said that, I guess she's talking about October 12th will be her 69th birthday, so happy birthday to you too. Katrina, yes, I have used the new serrated nylon server, so not this one, but the new one in the stoneware. Yes, and it works great. You can choose either one. Let's see. Thank you, Lynn, for that little positive spin on no pricing. Lynn said the prices could go either way at this point. Where she works, they always have to look at online prices, and her suppliers do not provide the seller with the catalog. And so she said, kudos to Pampered Chef for doing that. So I appreciate that positive spin. I really, really do, because it's probably been the most challenging thing for me. I had another conversation with our home office day before yesterday about the challenges. I promise you they listen to me when I share your concerns. And I will say that our CEO did tell me that I could tell you guys that she is listening and that she hears you. So and she has told me to continue to share things with her, and I will do that. So any other questions? I'm going to give you guys just a second. Obviously, the pie is not going to be done. We do not have that kind of time together. I know a lot of you guys are going to be ready to go to bed, like I will be. When that pie is done, I'm going to be ready to go to bed myself. So any other questions? I'm looking around to make sure that I haven't forgotten anything. I feel like I always say good night and then I have forgotten something. So let me look through all of my notes here, all of my recipes, make sure I haven't forgot anything. If you know somebody who's getting married, please share me with them so that I can help them with a Pampered Chef wedding registry. So last chance for questions. So I appreciate all the positive feedback about the lives. I've got to where I really look forward to this and I love it. And I'm so glad that when I was at the doghouse last month that I got everything set up, and I feel like I am mostly ready to go there. And I know I need to get that microphone working. So I've got a part I'm going to purchase, and hopefully by October 12th, I will have figured it all out, right? So thankfully I have 2 teenagers now, and they get excited because I think they're starting to want to use some of my equipment. And so we're going to have to, maybe they can help me figure it out. So thank you guys so much for joining. Just remember, shop tonight or tomorrow and you get double entries for the remainder of the prizes that I'm giving away. Excuse me. And the sale, the buy 2, get 1 free mix and match meal sets that I read off to you guys earlier. If you pre-registered, hopefully you got a text. I did get a message saying that some of those texts didn't go through, but I did attach that photo so that you can see it. If you want in on that sale, please wait to shop till tomorrow, but I will make sure that you still get double entries. And I think that's it. I don't see any new questions. Oh, let's see. If you get the silicone mat, does the microwave shield fit on it? Yes. I don't have it handy. I apologize. I gave one away, and then the other one is at the doghouse. So if I remember correctly, the microwave cover goes around, like over the edge of this one, but on this one, it sort of sits on top of it. I hope I'm remembering that correctly. And Kathy, thank you for your kind note. That means a lot to me. And yes, Parmesan cheese is to go on top of the soup. I just love all of you guys. Thank you for always being so complimentary. It means so much to me. And if you guys had any idea how many photos and videos that I have on my phone that I just haven't posted, I will get around to it. The editing part is what takes me a little bit of time. So if you're watching on Facebook, I am streaming on Facebook Live at the same time as I am on YouTube, but I only answer questions live on YouTube because it's just a little bit too much to go back and forth. But I will answer questions that if you comment on Facebook, whether it's live or the replay, I will answer those questions tomorrow. And if you happen to be watching the replay on YouTube tomorrow or later tonight, please feel free to use the chat. I'll be happy to answer your questions there too, but I appreciate you joining me. I'll see you guys on October the 12th. I had to double check. 8 p.m. live from the doghouse.